Hey guys, it's Abby and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a quick Q&A on some of the topics that you've been wanting to ask me about. So it's more of like lettering, journaling, and also living a creative life. These were some questions that you sent in a couple of months ago, so better to answer them before the year ends. So keep watching to know more about them. First things first, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. Skillshare is for creative and curious people like me, lifelong learners, and people who really want to make the most out of their creative journey by learning new skills and exploring their creativity. Skillshare includes classes that have a combination of video lessons and a class project, and each class is just under 60 minutes or less, and I think it's a great way to just amp up your creativity and add a little bit of inspiration to your daily life. Make sure to keep watching to know more about how you can access Skillshare for free. So for the first topic, we're going to dive into hand lettering, of course. So I got this question: what exercises can I do every day to improve my hand lettering? So admittedly, I haven't been lettering for quite some time, but it has been something I've been doing since 2012, and I used to practice not every day, but maybe every other day. And what I really suggest is really carving out time. Make it a ritual, like every other day you have 20 minutes to just write and do lettering or experiment with color schemes. It's how I also learned on my own. And also, Skillshare has a lot of lettering classes that you can check out. I'm going to list down some of my recommended classes below. If you want to take up also a lettering series that I offer, I have this little series on YouTube called Letter with ABC. It has 10 episodes where you can basically watch me do the exercise, and you can also follow along, and I hope it inspires you to just hone that regular habit. Just like journaling, I think lettering and journaling, these are two activities that really require time with your hands, and really like that space to just create, and it's a really therapeutic experience. So I highly suggest honing it to the best of your ability. How do you create your lettering compositions? So for my lettering compositions, I have a tendency to want to fill in every single area of my layout, which I don't know if it's rightfully correct in some way, but I guess that's just how I do it. If you see some of my work, you'd immediately know that usually it's bound in a circle or like in a square or in a rectangle, and I just try to fill in all the elements there. With composition, I also have a little background in layout design. I used to do layouts for my books. I also do my own zines and stuff like that. So I try to make sure that that the way that when you see an artwork, it's just easier to navigate towards it, not hard to read, but then the colors also complement it perfectly. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. This will make more sense if you read some of my books or check out the tutorials that I mentioned in the description below. How did you price your work when you started selling? Admittedly, of course, I've had that time. I think my first ever piece was sold for like just $10. I did an invitation for just $10 because back then I was a student, and also I just wanted some extra cash. So that was really the wrong move, of course. And then I also did have like a time where I used to sell some of my prints for just like $2, which is really cheap. I've learned, of course, the hard way, and I also have a full video on pricing your work, so make sure to check out that video in the link in the description below as well. Next up, we have supplies, and you all always ask me what are the best art supplies for investment. So let's start with paper. I highly recommend getting really good quality paper, especially if you're going to be using watercolor for your professional work. My personal favorite that isn't really expensive, but it's more of like the medium tier, is the Canson Moval. As you can see here, this is a 9x12 pad. I usually stock up on this. I think it costs around 300 pesos. So around $6, more or less 67 for a pad, which is not bad. They also have this in postcard size ones if you're interested. Canson is a really good brand, but Canson has a lot of entry level paper and also advanced level, but personally I love This one, the next one, which I already cut up, is the Arch. Arch is also, I believe, like part of the Canson family, but think of it as like the Louis Vuitton or like the high tier paper for creatives. I love Arch so much. I have a lot of artworks that I have painted with this paper. This green one is the cold pressed one. Actually, I don't know why I cut it up, so don't blame me for that, but this is a block. For context, this one is a pad, so you can tear it off easily. This block, if you're going to be using a lot of water for your work, this is really great because it holds it well, and you need a ruler or some sharp cutter to like remove this and, you know, store it. So for paper, those are my top picks because I just really like quality. You know, quality is really important. Even if you're starting out, it's great to have like not specifically all expensive stuff, but you know, just the basics to really get you going. Yeah, as I mentioned, there are postcard sizes and little sizes or sampler sets that you can avail online, so make sure to check those out. For paint, I do not have my watercolor here, but I will put it in my in the photo here probably. So I use the Schminka set. It's my personal favorite. This is my second Schminka set, the tiny one. I have the original one, but it's not with me right now. But if you want to start with watercolor, basic watercolor, you can always get the Faber-Castell basic set. I've been overusing this for many years. This is around $5 or $4 and it's pretty good. It's a bit on the beginner level, but it's admittedly one of my favorites next to Prang, which is the OG, as we all know. It has a lot of the basic colors, and I use this a lot for my lettering, especially when I post it on Instagram. But you know, leveling up a bit over the years, I've gotten pretty much to a liking with regards to gouache paint. So this is the first ever gouache set that I own. So this is the Caran d'Ache Gouache Studio, which has 15 colors. I will also link a video to my Caran d'Ache factory tour if you want to check it out. So the Caran d'Ache Gouache Studio, it's very dirty, but this is the paint that I've been using for many years. This has been with me for 4 years, and I actually have not finished it. So I have not bought it. I asked someone to buy this from Switzerland at the time, because Caran d'Ache is made in Switzerland. So you have this one. This comes in a palette form, so they're in pans, so you just have to water activate it, and the pigment is fabulous. I really love it. So in another brand of gouache, of course, I also tried out Schminka's gouache. This is the Academy gouache, which I bought in Berlin last year. So it comes in this nifty box, and it only comes in CMYK and white. So you have it here. I like this because then I can control the amount of paint that I use. In terms of technique, I do a lot of impasto style with this one compared to the Gouache Studio, because these are they're both water soluble, but these ones are more quick to dry, if that makes sense. And I will also link down supplementary videos below for you to check out my previous art supply recommendations. Do you think an iPad Pro is a must if I want to pursue the creative side as a business? I got my iPad Pro here. Well, ideally yes and no. I received my iPad. It was gladly financed by my mom. Thanks, Mom. So I got my iPad in 2018, but I only started using it frequently for work late last year. It has been a lot of learning curves for me because, as you know, I've been doing art by hand ever since I was born. So digital has been really a foreign concept to me, but now I've been using it as ways to sort of help alleviate and make my work more efficient online by creating content. You know, when I do my printables on Patreon, when I do wallpapers, they're all done on Procreate. When I design stickers, if you're going to be using it for your business, then I highly suggest investing in one, because you can design a lot of stationery in it. You can use it also as a tool for, you know, not just illustration. I've been using Adobe Premiere Rush as well to edit videos here rather than putting everything in Final Cut, because sometimes I just want to expedite the process. I'm all for working efficiently and working smarter than harder, because it really saves me a lot of time and energy. So yeah, I highly suggest getting it if you cannot afford a Pro. I think there's I don't know if it's I'm not the most techie person out there. iPad also works well. I think there's a new iPad, so you can try it out. I just got the Pro because personally I need another device because my laptop is I think it's like 5 years old, turning 5, and it's not the fastest. My phone is an iPhone 6, so I really need this device to sort of like be a little bit more up to date on things. I hope that made sense in some way. Oh, and of course, I have some tutorials on Procreate and designing stickers, which I will link down below for you to check out. Our next topic is, of course, how can I not forget, it's also the big bulk of this channel. We're going to move to journaling. So what is your favorite thing about journaling? I actually have some of my journals here. My journals are happily stored in one of the shelves at the back, so I'm in my room right now. So I really love journaling ever since I was a kid, ever since it became a part of how I viewed the world. Even before it became popular, I've always been the type of person who really kept journals because it was my way of, you know, seeing the world and really understanding the things around me. And with that avenue of self-discovery, I feel like I get to know myself more as I journal, as I write, as I document my days. And that's really something that I really love fundamentally about journaling, and that's really what's kept me going all this time. Biggest struggle when you started journaling? My biggest struggle, which is still a big struggle now, as you can see, I have a lot of different journal sizes. I never really stick to one. I am not a creature of habit. I pretty much acknowledge that from the beginning. You know, I have really big journal pages, like I use this A5 for the first half of the year. You will also see that my style is never consistent, which I've gotten pretty used to all this time. And that's something that always bothered me from the beginning because I thought there was always like a right way to do journaling. But I guess, you know, the more I do journaling, the more I improve on it, the more I refine my style and really experiment on all these things, the more I appreciate how varied everything is. I mean, I am just never a creature of habit. I've gotten used to that, and with my journaling style and that struggle, I instead turn it into a strength because that way I'd have more, you know, room to improve, to really try out what I really want to, you know, try with journaling. And I feel like there's always something new to really discover with journaling and documenting in general. Last but not the least, I have some very Miss Universe questions. I don't know why I always get asked these questions, but alas, I get asked them a lot. So the first question is, why did you choose to be an artist and live this kind of life? Good question. I also don't know. I'm 27 now, and I started with my art career, if you call it that. My creative career started at 22, so it's been 5 years, but I've been doing art since I was very young. I just never, you know, saw it as something that I really wanted to pursue because, you know, strict Asian family upbringing, societal pressures, family traditions. I could go on and on about that, but I also have a video on that, on how I started my business, so I link it down below as well. There was some part of me that deliberately made that decision. And yeah, one of the best things that I get to do as an artist is not just to make art, but inspire you also and help you on your creative journey. So that's something I'm really grateful to be able to do. Do you have any creative books to recommend for inspiration? I just talked about this at a Q&A and live chat with my patrons, so I still have this little pile over here. So one of my prized possessions ever as an artist, well, apart from art supplies, is actually my books. So I'm going to show you some of my highly recommended creative books that I own. So the first one is called Rookie Yearbook 2. So if you're not familiar with Rookie, Rookie is an online magazine. Well, it was an online magazine, but you can still read through the posts on rookiemag.com. I also was interviewed in Rookie before by Gabby, so thanks so much, Gabby, for that. I'll also link it down below if you want to check it out. So this is basically a compendium of writings, articles, stories, letters, and illustrations. I also downloaded a lot of collage kits from Rookie. So this is my little Bible. I really love this for creative inspiration. This is called Ephemera. Very fitting for me who really loves collecting ephemera. This is published by Uppercase Magazine. Uppercase Magazine is a magazine based in Canada, which is run by Janine Vangul. She's really great. I highly recommend checking her out. This book is amazing. It really has a lot of ephemera inside and basically information about how people collect ephemera collectors, designers, different crafts, and this cover is fabulous. You can actually pull it out. Of course, I don't want to do that, but like I could actually use this for putting on my wall or something. From mid-century style design, different labels, different art styles. I just really love it. It's really something that it's my baby. This book is called See the World. It's published by Taschen. It's a really fabulous book. Features a lot of 40s to 60s travel art and illustrations. I just really look at the colors, guys. I don't know if you can see it from the screen, but it has that, like, you know, grungy, textury element, and that's something that I personally love. I will do a video soon on all my recommended books. I pretty much have a lot in my library. What fields in art do you want to improve more and explore more on? A lot. So first things first is, I guess, fine art, but I'm not really thinking far ahead on that yet. Second is I really want to do better in filming. I'm not the best filming person, you know, video is not my forte. But I really want to be able to do documentaries. Wow, so such a far cry, right? And I also like screenwriting. I've been watching a lot of videos about film essays and how to write a screenplay. I really look up to people like Aaron Sorkin, Nora Ephron. I really love her as well. Last but not the least is a very Miss Universe question, of course. How can people not leave this out, right? So what is your goal as an artist and your goal as a business owner? So I did mention earlier that my goal as an artist is really to inspire others to venture out in their creative journey. It's either venture out, start their creative journey, continue their creative journey, discover their creativity. I think in hindsight, all of these sort of work together because I have been living a creative life for as long as I can remember, and I want you to be able to do that as well. Generally, in terms of running my creative business, I just really want to make art more accessible to people. You know, hard to find items, stationery that you can't find here in the Philippines. How can I make it possible to design these and make it accessible to you? That's what I really want to impart. And that's the reason why I run a shop. I really enjoy running a shop. Once again, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The first 1,000 to click the link in the description will get to access a Skillshare Premium free trial for a limited time. Make sure to check that out and add some creativity to your life. This has been Abby, and of course, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more updates and information on new videos, as well as if you'd like to support me on my creative journey, and I can support you as well, be part of our Patreon community by pledging today at patreon.com/abc. You'll be able to access videos like this at an earlier time, exclusive content, plus be part of our highly active Discord community. This has been Abby, and I'll see you guys next time. Always be creating. Bye!